Hey y'all, so it has been a few months since I've done a book haul, and that is mostly because I haven't been buying a ton of books lately, because instead I've been checking books out from the library. And since I currently have several things checked out from the library, I figured that this would be a great chance to do a library book haul while I continue to slowly accumulate more books that I've actually purchased. So all the books that I'm going to be talking about today are books that I currently have checked out of my local public library. So first, just to get it out of the way, the first several books that I have checked out from the library are volumes 3 through 18 of the Monster manga series. I'm not going to run through all of them because I have so many checked out, but essentially my library had every single volume in, and since I personally have the first 2 volumes, I checked out the rest of them. So far I am only 5 volumes in, but it's a really intriguing story and I've enjoyed what I've read so far, and since I do have all the volumes checked out, I'm assuming that I'm going to get to the rest of them fairly soon. The next book that I have checked out from the library is one that I actually started last night, and that is The Forgetting by Sharon Cameron. This is a book that I have been really excited about ever seeing it on Katie Tastic's channel a week or 2 ago, and I was fortunate enough to be able to find it at my public library, so I picked it up. Essentially, this is a dystopian novel where everyone in this world forgets everything about themselves every 12 years, and this is called The Forgetting. So because the forgetting happens, everyone carries around these journals and they write in them and they keep track of their lives so that once they forget everything, they can read the journals and remember their lives. However, humans being humans, not everyone is so honest with themselves, and there's a lot of trickery going on, and our main character is the only one that knows about it because she is the only person in this world who has not forgotten. Every time the forgetting comes around, she retains all of her memories. Right now, I'm only about 100 pages in, but I read all of those 100 pages in one sitting because I got really invested into the story, so I'm really hoping to enjoy the rest of the book because so far it's really interesting. Next up is A World Without You by Beth Revis. Beth Revis is one of my favorite authors, and I have yet to read her most recent book, so when I saw it at the library, I felt like I needed to pick it up. So far, all of her books have been sci-fi dystopian mixes, and this one seems more of a contemporary, so I'm really interested to see how her writing style translates into a contemporary story. The next book that I have from the library is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. Given that it is mid-October, I'm still very much in a dark, creepy reads mood, and I've heard a lot of great things about this one, so when I saw it at the library, I decided to pick it up. I've heard that it's very scary and the illustrations within it seem really interesting as well, so overall I'm just really intrigued by this book. Next up is The Shining by Stephen King. I do have a physical copy of this book, but it's at my parents' house, so I went ahead and checked this out from the library because for some reason I kind of got into the mood for it. Now, actually, I have read most of this book already, but I put it down with a quarter of the book to go, and I'm not exactly sure why because I was enjoying it and it was interesting, so I'm hoping to pick this up and actually finish it this time. The next book that I have checked out is The Dead House by Dawn Kurtagich. The premise of this book is a little bit hard to explain, but from what I gather, it deals with either multiple personalities or someone being 2 entirely people altogether, and it's told in little memos and different journal entries, so the format is really interesting and the story sounds intriguing as well. I did pick this up a few weeks ago and I read the first 20 pages and it didn't immediately draw me in, so I haven't actually picked it up to continue it, but I am hoping that I pick it up again and really enjoy it. Next up is Bliss by Lauren Miracle. All that I really know about this book is that it is set in a boarding school and that there is some sort of paranormal aspect to it, and that is enough for me to be really intrigued because boarding schools and ghosts sound like a really great combination. Next up is The Silence of Six by E.C. Myers. From what I can gather from the premise of this book, it sounds like it deals with hacking and government conspiracies with this teenager who kills himself on a live stream, which just really sounds very intriguing and very dark and mysterious, and I have been intrigued by this book for quite a while. I think it came out a little bit over a year ago or maybe 2 years ago, but when it did come out, I heard the premise and was really interested, and I finally picked it up at the library. And then finally, as far as physical books, the last physical book that I have is Y: The Last Man, Volume 1. And this is the deluxe edition, so it has like the first 2 volumes in it. All I really know about this is that this guy is the last man on Earth because all of the men have died in some sort of outbreak or zombie apocalypse type situation, and it just sounds really interesting, and I've heard a lot of great things about this comic series. So in addition to those books, I also have some physical audiobooks and some digital audiobooks checked out from the library, so I thought I would just share those very briefly with you guys as well. So the one physical one that I do have is Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson. This is a book that Jamie from Ermagerd Books really loves, and the way she described it sounded really interesting and definitely kind of off-putting, mysterious, creepy for this creepy time of year. So I checked it out from the library, and I'm going to go ahead and download it onto my phone so I can listen to it on there, and I'm really intrigued to check this out. Other audiobooks that I currently have checked out are Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, which I finished a little less than a week ago. Another audiobook that I currently have checked out from my library, which I just finished a couple days ago, is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. So this was actually written in the 50s, so depending on how you view it, it's either a classic horror novel or a modern classic horror novel, and it is centered around this house called Hill House, where some mysterious things happen. Like I said, I just finished it a few days ago. I have yet to settle on a rating, but it was also one that I did enjoy. I think it's gonna fall somewhere around 8 out of 10 stars for me, but it was really interesting listen/read. And then finally, the last audiobook that I have checked out digitally is The Child Thief by Brahm. I have listened to like the first 20-ish minutes of this audiobook, and it was interesting, but I didn't really get engrossed into it, so I'm going to give it another try before returning it because I think I have a week left in my rental, so we'll see if I will get to that one. I have heard a lot of great things about it, so I do really want to get to it. So that is it for the books that I have checked out of the library currently. I'm not sure if I will get to all of them because there are some other books that are really sparking my interest, but these are ones that I am really interested in, and I'm really excited to read several of them. Let me know down in the comments what you think of any of the books I've talked about today. If there are any you think I should definitely get to immediately, let me know. Also, yet another plug for my new blog, Specialis Revelio Harry Potter, where I do a chapter-by-chapter Harry Potter analysis. I'm really excited about it, and I would love if you would check it out, and it will be linked down in the description. As always, I will also leave links down in the description to my blog, Twitter, and Goodreads. Please add me as a friend on Goodreads. I would love to be friends with all of you. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!